Look at this place.
I don't even know what I'm looking at, so we need to go read.
We gotta go read some stuff to figure out
Get
what's going on
informed.
here. I know something about the boat was for a king or a queen or something maybe, and then it sank.
Welcome, so
Thank
good
you.
to have you here. I'm Martina and I work here at the museum, and I'm the one fortunate enough to take care of you today and
Perfect.
show you a little bit of the
Awesome,
museum.
perfect.
What you see is a ship that's close to 400 years old and that's been in the water for a bit more than 300 years, and still most of it is the original ship. So 98% of all that you see in here is actually the real thing.
It was underwater for 300 years.
It was.
Did they know what caused it?
Yes. When the ship sailed out on its first journey, it sank after only sailing around 20 minutes. So it was a disaster for being, you know, a ship's first journey. And when the researchers looked into the construction itself, that was the thing. Vasa has a little bit the wrong proportions.
So does that mean it's like tipped over
It
and
did,
sank?
it did. It sailed out when they put the sails on the masts and the sails caught the wind. It started moving a bit too much. So Vasa leaned so much to one side, the side where we're standing that we're facing right now. Since the gun ports were open, when the ship heeled over to the water started gushing in and filled the ship. And eventually so much that it couldn't keep afloat.
So would that be what the color of it used to be?
Right. So here you get a good glimpse of all the colors that the ship had originally. When Vasa was found, that was in the 1950s, by a person who happened to read about it in the old archives and who knew that in the Baltic Sea, the water conditions are very good for keeping wooden objects for a long time. So he worked for a couple of years figuring out how can we lift it. Eventually they decided, let's go for a more traditional method. We pull steel cables under it and we lift it up with the help of pontoons and other
How
boats.
deep was it?
At the depth of about 30 meters.
Is there people that can see it from inside?
Yes, there are. Very few.
Are we part of that crew?
I'm afraid not. I'm so
sadly.
sorry. It would be
Had to try.
lovely
It was
to
had to
show
try.
you. But it's a good question, and it's an important one. I'm glad you asked. This is what I wanted to show you. This is the back of the ship, and it seems perhaps a bit strange that the back is the most beautiful side of Vasa. But here in the back were the two cabins for the officers, the admiral, the captain, and the king. So we could say that this was the most important part of the ship if Vasa would have sailed the way it was supposed to. Different
What?
colors.
It's still fully original? You guys
This
didn't
is fully
redo
original.
anything on
Yes, no. All these sculptures are not only here to make the ship look beautiful, they were also here to tell things. For example, you see that there are 3 crowns. That is the national coat of arms of Sweden from that time, and the 3 crowns are still used today. Our national hockey team is called Tre Kronor, which is 3 crowns. At the very top, there is a young man holding out his arms. And that is the king himself, the king who commissioned Vasa. The king was in a hurry.
The king wanted it on
He
the
had
water.
a lack of ships. He wanted to have his ship as fast as possible. He
Yeah.
asked several times, when can I get the ship?
Do we know how many years it took to build Vasa?
We do, roughly 2.5 years. It was quite fast for being a ship of this kind. So they were probably under pressure and tried to work as fast
And
as
you don't say no to the king.
No, you don't.
What's your stat today, your favorite one that we learned about?
My favorite stat of the day? The fact that it was only built in 2.5 years. How about you?
I think it's the amount of cannons there was.
Yeah.
Like it just looks like there was so many.
Yeah.
For a boat that wasn't technically just going to war, it
Yeah.
was more to show off almost. Well, thank you very
Awesome,
much.
yes, thank
I'm
you.
It was-
so
it was
happy
awesome.
to
you very
give you
much.
all of this, and I hope that you've been kind of able to follow me, but
Yeah.
great to talk to you.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Which teammate would be the first to get off the boat and the last to get off?
Tanger's probably the first one off. Last one off, I'll go with Carl and Rags because obviously it's their own country, so they would
A
have
couple of
tried
Swedes trying to save the boat.
Yeah.
I think for me, we'd probably put the rookies in the bottom, so they'd probably be either stuck in there or out last. Who'd be out first? A guy like Carl. Carl might be out there. He might be out there kinda.
Hazy might be up there.
Let's go with Hazy would be out there. Kevin Hayes would be first off because he'd be out there scoping things out. He'd see it go down, he would just dive right in.